This hour's headline stories. Russia's defense ministry confirms one of the pilots from the jet down by Turkey has been rescued and taken to an air base in Syria. The Russian military is to boost its defense capabilities in the country with an advanced anti-aircraft missile system. President Putin called the attack, quote, a stab in the back by terrorist accomplices, while Turkish connections with Islamic State are again brought to the fore. And footage emerges allegedly showing Syrian rebels firing a US-made missile at a Russian rescue helicopter sent for the pilots of the downed jet. Just turned midday here in Moscow on Wednesday, the 25th of November. From the team and myself, Ewan O'Neill, welcome to the programme. A pilot missing from the downed Russian jet is alive. According to the Russian defense minister, he was rescued by the Syrian army and taken to the Russian airbase in Latakia. Another pilot was killed after the plane was shot down by a Turkish fighter jet in Syria near the border with Turkey.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Sukut Tentera Rusia! Allahu Akbar!
The whole world should be aware that we can defend ourselves and will take any necessary precautions to protect and secure our nation.
Today's loss is a stab in the back from terrorist accomplices.
Well, Ankara released a map which it claims shows the flight path of the Russian jet entering Turkish territory over a narrow border area. However, the Russian military insists the plane did not violate Turkish airspace. The map actually indicates the jet came under attack a kilometre away from the border and crashed 4 kilometres into Syrian territory. But even if the intrusion actually took place, a leaked letter from Turkey to the UN says it would have lasted for only 17 seconds. It actually took me more time to take you through the country's versions of the crash than for the Turkish warplanes to react and attack the bomber. Well, a former security analyst at the US Department of Defense says the Turkish military simply didn't give the Russian jet enough time to react.
Given the length of time that they did the warning and did the actual shooting, there wasn't much time for consultation. And given the area, it's so small that a jet going 1,300 miles an hour doesn't have much time to turn around or much space. But I think what happened was that the Russian jet got too close to some very serious interests of Turkey, and that's why they probably took action, because it's probably one of the routes through which they acquire or they send the forces in and through Turkey into Syria to fight on behalf of the jihadist groups. And I suspect that the Russian jet was getting too close since it was aiming at possibly Nusra or one of the other jihadist groups that was on the ground.
Well, the decision to shoot down the Russian jet contradicts some statements President Erdogan himself made just a few years back. In 2012, the then Prime Minister was infuriated after Syria downed a Turkish fighter jet because of an airspace violation.
A short-term border violation can never be a pretext for an attack. The F-16 shot down the Russian plane in line with Turkey's rules of engagement. Even if the plane was in their airspace for a few seconds, there is no excuse to attack. It was clear that this plane was not an aggressive plane. Still, it was shot down.
One retired US military official has claimed the downing of the Russian plane was pre-planned. But that opinion does not seem to be welcomed by mainstream media outlets.
So I don't really trust President Erdogan and what he's doing.
Okay.
I think we have to be very, very cautious on this.
Yep.
I think it was an overly aggressive maneuver.
Okay.
And as a NORAD region commander, we would not use these kind of rules of engagement. That had to be pre-planned.
Okay.
That airplane wasn't over Turkish territory long enough.
Long enough. Okay.
Well, it's difficult to pinpoint Turkey's exact stance on its fight against terror based on previous statements and policies.
Türkiye olarak terörle mücadeleye ilişkin işbirliğinin geliştirilmesi konusundaki kararlılığımızın daha güçlü bir şekilde ifade edilmesi gerektiğini
Turkish warplanes went on the attack Monday, but instead of pounding ISIL positions in Syria, the Turks attacked Kurdish fighters in Turkey.
What the So while over in Kobani, we've been bombing ISIS to help the Kurds, our good friend Turkey has at the same time, just a few miles away, been bombing Kurds, thereby helping ISIS.
Turkey has become the destination for the oil, which has been captured by the ISIL army.
Если у них, у ИГИЛ, такие деньги, а счет идет там на десятки, сотни миллионов, может быть, на миллиарды долларов, плюс к этому они имеют защиту со стороны вооруженных сил целого государства, тогда понятно, почему они ведут себя так дерзко и нагло.
Turkey is acting recklessly in this. For some reason, it has been acting as a main sponsor of terrorism in Syria. It is Turkey that is facilitating the bringing of these terrorists from Chechen, from all over the world, facilitating their entrance into Syria and guaranteeing their funding through the sale of oil and other things.
Well, Russia's beefing up its air defense capabilities in Syria in response to the downing of its frontline bomber. The Russian military has announced the deployment of S-400 anti-aircraft missile systems in the base in Latakia. The Moscow missile cruiser has also been ordered to destroy any target posing a threat to Russian planes operating in the area. Well, Turkey has been long accused of trading oil with Islamic State. The jihadists make millions of dollars selling cheap crude on the black market. And Ankara's role in funding ISIL was touched upon in the British Parliament immediately following the downing of the Russian bomber. Take a listen.
They've shot down a Russian jet who are also trying to fight ISIL. They're buying oil from ISIL in order to prop them up. They're bombing the Kurds who are also fighting ISIL. This Syrian engagement is an almighty mess.
I see, Mr. Speaker, that old habits die hard, and the honourable gentleman remains an apologist for Russian actions. On the question of Turkey, Turkey is an important NATO ally, and it will remain a very important partner for this country and for the European Union.
Turkey, so directly targeted Russia. I'm very surprised because I think it's a little bit suicidal. That being said, I think that it speaks a lot as to how threatened Turkey feels in terms of its financial connections to ISIL, and it actually confirms, if anything, that Turkey, does indeed have very deep-seated ties with terrorists and radicals across the region.
Well,